Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's show. Today, I'm coming at you with a channeled Reiki message. I've been getting a lot of messages this July. I'm going to take my socks off because I do not want to wear socks right now. Every time I get Reiki messages, I get really hot all of a sudden. So, the message is hot when you warm up. But anyway, getting right into it, as always, take what fits with you. If I say something and it doesn't sound quite right, maybe this message isn't for you today, and that's okay. Just leave it at the door, and pick up what does go with you. So happy July. July is my birthday month. I am a July Leo. So this season has been really powerful and strong. Anytime you take a journey around the sun, it is just a strong time to reflect and listen and understand where you are in your life and where you want to go. So that's that first little bit of a message. Like, take some time to reflect and find where you want to go, what you want to be doing, and if the actions you're taking in your life right now are aligned with that. As always, take a moment, place a hand on your heart, take a breath in, let it out, and give Reiki permission to go exactly where it's needed at this point in time on your journey. If you feel a open or go ahead, keep listening. If not, go ahead and close out this video because it might not be for you. So the first message that kind of came in this July was imagining that we're all kind of on this journey. And when I say journey, I mean life and life experience. I mean that coming out of the cave after experiencing trauma and unimaginable things. We're all coming out of the cave right now with the pandemics, the multiple pandemics, the multiple economic crises. All these things that are going on really are putting us all in the dark. So something that was really important was to recognize that we've all been walking around in a dark ass cave with headlamps on, and some of our headlamps went out. Some of us have been walking around in a cave looking at other lights and trying to follow those lights to the outside of the cave. And there's a whole bunch of lights and there's a whole bunch of headlamps out, right? And so it's confusing. Because just because somebody has a light doesn't mean they're not exploring the cave. Maybe they don't want to get out yet, right? And so this is kind of an analogy to say, be careful who you follow. Be careful who you're listening to, because a lot of people are saying things right now and maybe a lot of people don't know where the exit is. And sometimes maybe they do, but you can make a lot of money by having a light and knowing where the exit is and not taking people to it, right? Oh, you have to do this to get out. You have to do that to get out. And recognizing that just because someone is the loudest person in the room doesn't mean they are the person that is most worth listening to. Something that I was reading out of the Pali Canon, which the Pali Canon is a Buddhist text. It said something to the extent of, when you take someone's advice, when you listen to what someone has to say, and you execute that advice, you go on and you do that thing, does it more often lead to good or does it more often lead to bad? If it most often leads to ill, it leads to bad, it doesn't lead you where you actually want to go, then that is probably not the person you should be following. So recognize when you take someone's words, when you take someone's actions and you do them, and it leads to more wellness or fulfillment or success, whatever you are looking for, whatever you're after, then that's probably the person you should be following. Recognize right now we're in the age of, feels like we're in the age of fake guru or just guru in general. And people are charismatic. There's charismatic people. There's people that can say a lot of things, but when it comes down to it and you actually follow those things, they don't have any basis in reality, or they're just saying the thing that somebody else said before them. So recognizing and using your own discernment, you all have a beautiful discernment, a beautiful ability to know what's right for you. And you should be listening to that, because then you will recognize if a message is for you or not. I think this is coming up because of the age of TikTok. And everyone's like, if this landed on your For You page, this message is for you, right? And that's not actually always true. Just because it's on your For You page doesn't really mean that message, that energy, that healing, that energy work, that spell is for you. Sometimes it's to be laid aside because that is not for you. Use your discernment, use your wisdom. You have it, and you always have. Okay. The other message that kind of came up as, I was teaching a yoga class or whatever. And the other message that kind of came up at that point is the problem with reframing. If you don't know what reframing is, it's it's kind of like positive thinking. A lot of therapists do cognitive behavioral therapy, and their main thing is reframe, right? It's how can you look at that differently, right? That's what a reframe is. But the thing that came up was, it doesn't matter how many times you flip that frame. If the frame is colonization, if the frame is capitalism, if the frame is oppression, if the frame is you are not worthy no matter what you do, that picture is always gonna be ugly. It's just gonna be ugly in different ways. It's just not gonna serve you in different ways. So it doesn't matter how many times you flip that frame. You might notice new details. You might see something a little differently, but it's always gonna have the same frame. You are still looking at it through a fucking box, right? And there are things outside of a frame. There are things around the frame. So sometimes it's time to take the whole frame off and recognize that maybe the frame didn't fit the picture in the first place. You're a beautiful masterpiece, and sometimes people only want you to look at the part that suits them, that suits the society, that suits the culture. So recognize, when we're talking about reframing, that is not always the truth. Sometimes you need to take the frame off and recognize you were bigger than that frame could have ever been. You are limitless. You're wise and you are worthy. And the frame never suited you to begin with. Recognize what frames you are looking at yourself on. It's just like taking these glasses off and realizing that I can't see very far away, right? But when I put these glasses on, I can see some things, but guess what? They're all outlined by the same frame. I change my glasses, I get a new frame. I get a new picture to look at things through. Everything's slightly grayish right now. Put on some green glasses, everything has a green hue. So recognize you can change the frame. Maybe sometimes you need to change the frame. Maybe sometimes you didn't need that frame at all. You can flip the picture as many times. You can flip the frame as many times as you want. But maybe that wasn't the frame that you needed to begin with. Next message. Lots of messages this week. So I think the last and final message, unless something else comes through as I'm talking, is a dream message. So I'm just going to lay it out as it came to me, because I think that's important, and it's the whole message, not just the part. And this message came in two parts, actually, through a dream and through an interaction with someone at a farmer's market, which was really, really lovely. So this is about relationship. It's about relationships. And I'm going to say, whether it's platonic or not, it feels very familial. So if you have a family relationship that you've been in and there's been a lot of arguing, there's been a lot of bickering. And it's like every time you come into contact with this person, the only thing there is just this frustration, this built up of frustration, this irritation, this, it's just pain. It comes out as anger. It comes out as arguing and yelling and fussing and fighting. But really, pain has come to take the place where love has been. That love and affection and beauty you had in this relationship, this friendship, this familyship has just been taken over by the amount of pain and really a sense of loss of understanding of who the other person is outside of that pain. It's like not being able to move beyond all this circumstance. That's what I'll call it, circumstance, because often that's what it is. Not being able to move beyond that and being stuck in a painful cycle of bickering and arguing and never being able to see each other for who you are. Each of you on both sides. This is not a they did this, they did that. This is a we're both in a place of hurt and we can't move past it. And so when pain takes the place of love, you have to remember to laugh again. You have to remember how to be in communion with each other again, in community with each other, recognizing that neither of you are perfect. No one's perfect, right? Despite all my oldest sister thoughts about perfection, oldest child problems, be a perfectionist, right? Despite all those thoughts, all those feelings, no one is perfect. Neither are you, neither are they. Can you come together and find laughter with each other again, to find that joy again, so you can remember the amount of love that's there is endless. It's infinite. It's expanding. And you love each other so much that you would rather be in the same room arguing with each other than not in the same room at all. That's love. That right there is love. To be with each other in pain and in joy and in truth. Recognizing that love is being held at all of those times, no matter what it looks like, right? Remember, it's not what it looks like. It's what it feels like. There's love underneath that pain. Something else that came up with that message is if you are in herbs, I believe it's violet and marshmallow. So violet and marshmallow goes with that message. Violet brings up that wounding, that pain, that relationship pain, right? Brings it out and brings all that stuff to air out, especially if it's between a mother and daughter. It brings all that pain out. And then marshmallow soothes some of that energy. So if you're into herbs and things like that, those two herbs came up very strongly in this message this week. So, happy July. I'm so glad you could join me for these messages. Sending you so much love and joy. Sign up for my newsletter. The description is in the link below. If you would like your own channeled Reiki message, or if you would like to start your trauma recovery journey, again, the link is in the description box below. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. See you next time.